Independent links. Say it with me, y'all. Independent links. Holla at me, y'all. Independent links.
This is Independent Links. We're in the studio on East 4th Street with Friction. Friction, tell us where you're from.
I'm from Exeter, New Jersey. It's better known as Hightstown. You know what I'm saying? It's a small suburb, but still is live out there. It's still real live out there. Crazy.
Friction, you're a hip hop artist. What type of hip hop do you present?
I would basically say that, the real hip hop, the more old school type of sound that just got that feel to it that, when you hear the record, it's just timeless. You know what I mean? You hear some records back in the day and you listen to it one time and you know the record. You know what I mean? I'm kind of bringing a similar feel to the game and trying to keep it interesting.
Okay, so give us like somebody who influenced you.
Oh, definitely Rakim, by far. Rakim, Nas, Tribe Called Quest, Tupac. Run DMC. I'm definitely a fan of the old school. I feel like the way them brothers put it down, it wouldn't even be no new school without them brothers. You know what I'm saying? So for me to take something from the new, it just, you know what I'm saying? It just isn't right. So I feel like, the old school is where my heart is at. And, that I make similar music to what they did. You know what I mean? So just to give y'all a little feel, you know what I mean? Everybody can pretty much look at this.
Is the dude that you were seeing in your dreams. So give me the mic so I can rhyme till you see that I'm a MC with straight rhyme 360. But add on 5 cause I'm around all yearly. Brothers who fear me need to move to the left cause I'm right on point. So need to watch where you step. The up in the legs, I got the keys to the jet. So my niggas are rep and ass mad to the death. If you think that I'm next, you're probably right, just smash. And with the crowd, I've been around when you slept on the stool from Jersey. Brothers trying to hurt me. Niggas that want to battle ain't ill enough to serve me. Been alive on 3rd Street, places where it's murky. Gotta stay with the ratchet cause the wolves is thirsty. Looking out for them early, late night thoroughly. Somebody gon' catch it in the streets where the murders be. Certainly on the chain, I can feel it ain't nothing new. Forget about the way if I'm around, I'm coming through. The rhymes is timeless, flow is in the pocket. Give me the microphone and watch the brother just rock it.
Can't give them everything. Can't give them everything.
How long you been into hip hop?
I would definitely say by 6 years old. I wrote my first rhyme at 6 years old. You know what I mean? I was following the game heavy even then. You know what I mean? Some people think 6 years old, what do you remember at 6 years old? But for me, I remember Rakim. You know what I mean? I remember Run DMC. I remember Get Fresh Crew. I remember the old school cats that put it down. So, yeah, 6 years old.
So, anybody was to compare you to any artist out there, who would you more closely be compared to?
Well, that's kind of a difficult thing to ask, or even to answer. I would say more or less, I compare myself to myself because I feel like I got my own little style, my own swag, But in terms of like the message, I would say that my message pretty much emulates more of a Rakim, Nas type of feel. People that's really talking about the culture. You know what I mean? And when I speak about hip hop, I'm not just talking about hip hop as a brand. I'm talking about hip hop as a culture. The way that we live, the way that I speak is hip hop. The way that I walk is hip hop. You know what I mean? The things that come out of my mouth is hip hop. You know what I mean? So, when I think about hip hop, I think about the way that I'm living. You know what I mean? And that's real.
So you said you've been around since 6 years old. How did you get started though? Like, what was your first time you laid down the track?
Wow. My man Chico Ash, he had a studio, up in the 3rd floor of the projects that I lived in. And he had 2 sets of 12s, you know what I mean? And I used to see mad brothers going in and out of the apartment, and I used to look at that and say, what's going on? You know what I mean? So one day I took the opportunity to go up there and see what was going on, knocked on the door, he opened up, and he was like, yo, why don't you check something out? So we started mixing things. I started listening to music, and that's when I first heard Bonita Apple Bum by Tribe Called Quest. And instantaneously, I fell in love with it, you know what I mean? And then from there, I asked him if I can get a copy of the instrumental so I could write to it. So he gave me a copy of the instrumental. I took it home, and, I tried to be Q-Tip. Didn't work, but, I tried to be Q-Tip, and everything came together, and that's when I wrote my first rhyme. And then from there, I've been trying to get in the studio, and, everything just came to fruition after some point, you know what I mean? People started hearing about me. oh, this little kid at 8 years old spitting. You know, people was breakdancing on a cardboard. So I used to get on a cardboard while everybody breakdancing and start rapping. And people was like, wow, you know what I mean, this kid, who is this little kid out here rapping? You know, because I was a shorty. I was the shortest one out of everybody in my projects. And I was just out there rocking. And when people saw that, you know, they was just like, wow, you know, this kid has no fear. He has no fear in rhyming in front of people, has no fear of saying what's on his mind. And his rhymes is actually dope for somebody that, you know, for being that young, you know what I mean? So that's what kind of gave me the motivation to keep doing what I'm doing, even to this day. So that's something I never forget.
Do people back home, are they expecting something? Are they looking forward to something?
Oh yeah.
They keep asking you?
Oh man, I get beat down, man. I get beat down with it. It's like, you know, a lot of people always say, yo, when the mixtape coming, when the album coming, when the next song, you know, I go on the street, you know what I mean, and I play a little taste, you know, to everybody and let them know exactly what I'm doing. Because, you know, to be honest with you, I'm not in the hood all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm making other moves. I'm trying to do big things. And, you know, I'm always going to the hood, but I'm not always in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I go to check in, let people know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Dap my man's up, let them hear a little taste of what's going on. And then from there, basically, keep it moving. You know what I mean? And then the next time they see me, they're like, yo, what you got new? Play something new. They're like, yo, I need a copy of that. So, you know what I mean? It's a good feeling. It makes you feel like, you know, people actually supporting where you're from, and you know, you don't really see too much of the hate. So it's good.
So, being that a lot of people supporting you, I gotta ask the question, when can we get a Friction album?
Wow. An album, I mean, right now, I'm on the mixtape grind, but the album is definitely coming right thereafter. You know what I mean? I got 2 mixtapes that I'm about to release, probably within, I'd say, 4 months of each other. You know, the first one is going to come out. It's called Music Affiliated Superstars. I did it with DJ Absolute, Heavy Hitters, Hot 97. And, you know, the project is dope. I mean, the project is dope from start to finish. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better mixtape, a better first mixtape, something to beat up the streets with, get people's attention, and, you know, I'm giving them abundance of flavor. And I think that's what the game is missing right now. You know, everybody is basically dealing with swag and, you know, things that are more current, but I'm dealing with more realism and more things that that everyday people go through, you know, because everybody don't have swag. You know what I mean? So I speak for those people who have it, and I speak for those who don't have it. You know what I mean? For those who don't have it, that listen to my music and say, you know, he's not really talking about swag and what he's wearing and what kind of jewels he got on. He's talking about his neighborhood, what he came from, and where he's going. I can follow that dream as opposed to saying, oh, man, I got 30 G's in my pocket and I'm going to spend 60. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't really relate to that as much, but I don't hate on those who got the swag. Keep doing your thing.
So if a little kid, another kid, 8 years old, was to come up to you and say, how can I get in the game? What would Friction's response be?
Basically to tell them to keep working hard. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not easy to get into this business. I would definitely let them know it's a business first. If you're serious, you know, enough about pursuing the dream, because it all starts off as a dream at first, and then it, you know, it turns into something else. But I would definitely tell them to try to pick up a book, go to a library, and learn the business first. And it's kind of hard to tell that to an 8-year-old child, but I would definitely tell them to work hard, keep working hard at their craft, get better. You know what I mean? Make sure that you get into a cipher. If you see people rhyming on the street, go up and ask them, yo, when's my turn? Or just jump in. You know what I mean? Show people that you're hungry for it, that you're not afraid, that you got some charisma. You know, just show people that you want it more than they do, and people will start taking you seriously.
It's the independent leaks with the underground updates at 10 p.m. So I hope y'all up late. Shell Shock Productions alongside Chrome. Next half an hour we invading y'all home. Thursday nights, so go tell a friend. New guests every week, so tune in.